As many people know, President Barack Obama has been re-elected to keep his position as President of the United States of America. But that's not the only thing that was on the ballots in Omaha. Good afternoon, I'm Samantha Netchkosh.
And I'm Robbie Pinkelman. There were also races for the Senate between Bob Kerrey and Deb Fischer, and the House between Lee Terry and John Ewing. We were at all the election night events, and we'll show you who's going to represent Nebraska in both categories. You're watching the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
Yesterday marked the culmination of election season. Reporter John D. Haskell was at the Douglas County Election Commission to see all the action go down.
Yesterday, the Douglas County Election Office was very busy. They saw a little bit of drama.
So it was one ballot, one location, and no big conspiracy.
A ballot got caught into a ballot sleeve, and a voter was given a previously voted ballot. It led to a press conference being held, and Omaha was amidst a controversy. But after all was said and done, it was an isolated event.
So normally they slip it all the way in like that, and then the person will stick it in.
One ballot caught in one ballot sleeve, and so basically the privacy sleeve that a voter used, they gave it to the poll worker. Poll worker tried to put the ballot into the ballot box, didn't realize that the ballot didn't slide into the ballot box.
An accident with a ballot made it look like a stressful afternoon at the Douglas County Election Commission.
So I guess sometimes if you don't hit it hard enough, then it wouldn't.
Another voter issue dealt with going to the wrong polling place and not being told where the correct polling place was. Valerie Stoy, Dave Phibbs' PR coordinator, says it's not uncommon.
If a voter goes to vote and their actual address doesn't match their registered voter registration address, they have to vote provisionally.
Stoy says it's not possible for poll workers to determine what the new polling location is. That had many voters visiting the Douglas County Election Commission throughout the day. Ballot collection continued late into the night, but when it was all said and done, it was a successful election. For the Omaha News, I'm John D. Haskell.
The Douglas County Election Commission will be working through the month of November to finish off work from yesterday's election. December will be a bit of a break. Then they'll be busy in January processing paperwork and preparing for the Omaha City elections in April.
Last night, Nebraska elected a new senator. The race was between State Senator Deb Fischer and former U.S. Senator Bob Kerrey. Kevin Cleaver has the results.
Yesterday, Republican Deb Fischer, a rancher and Nebraska state legislator, was elected to represent Nebraska in the U.S. Senate. Fischer defeated Democrat Bob Kerrey for the Senate seat. Although Fischer led Kerrey throughout the campaign process, Kerrey remained hopeful that he could make a comeback as the election approached. But last night, Kerrey barely edged out Fischer in Douglas County, where he was thought to be the clear favorite. Deb Fischer spent her morning campaigning in Omaha.
I voted in the right direction.
Well, I hope that's for me. Well, you know, we've been in Omaha a lot. We've been in the metro area a lot. I've been working hard, so I am hopeful that people are going to get out and vote for me here.
At Deb Fischer's campaign event in Lincoln, there was much excitement as results came in showing a likely Deb Fischer victory. When all the numbers were in, results showed Deb Fischer commanding 58% of the vote to Bob Kerrey's 42%. When it was clear which way voters of Nebraska had decided, Bob Kerrey called Deb Fischer to congratulate her on her victory. During his concession speech, he offered Fischer luck.
A few minutes ago, I called and spoke with Senator Fischer to congratulate her on her victory, and I extended to her my hope and my sincere hope that her service to Nebraskans in the Senate will add as much to her life as it did to mine.
Fischer left her supporters with a message on how she plans to represent Nebraska while in Washington.
We expect our elected officials to be one of us. I stand with you here tonight, and I will stand for you and fight for you in Washington.
Fischer will take office January 3rd. With photographer Eric Anderson, I'm Kevin Cleaver for the Omaha News.
Fisher will join current Senator Mike Johans. At Fisher's campaign event last night, Johans told Fisher's supporters that no Senate team will work as hard as the Fisher-Johans team.
The race for Nebraska's 2nd congressional district came down to the wire between Lee Terry and John Ewing. Ewing pulled close to Terry in the last couple of weeks and was polling for an upset. Reporter Brett Kane has more.
Nebraska's 2nd congressional district seat came down to candidate John Ewing versus the incumbent winner, Lee Terry. Ewing running for the Democratic side and Terry for the Republicans. The race was heated throughout the day, but Terry held a consistent lead throughout the night.
So it's hard for us to really get a grasp. We've held at 4 points practically the whole day or full night.
In the end, that 4-point lead was enough to declare Terry the winner.
Thank you for all of your love and your support during this election. It really means a lot to the Terry family up here. So thank you.
On the Ewing side, it was a night full of emotions. Whether it was the Obama win or the heartbreaking defeat for Ewing against Terry, Ewing said there was still a bright future.
No matter what happens, the sun will come up somewhere tomorrow.
Ewing said even though the defeat stung, there is still work to be done down the road.
And it's good about doing great things. Let's get back out there and continue some great things in this great community. So thank you, God bless you.
For the Omaha News, I'm Brett Kane.
Lee Terry returns for yet another term to his seat in Washington despite the valiant efforts from the Ewing campaign. This will be Terry's 8th term. Coming up, there's a recent partnership that broadens the art capabilities of young people.
Lindsay Peterson is in the newsroom ready to tell us more about this Omaha art community. You're watching the Omaha News.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the News Hour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
I knew as a music teacher that there were festivals for piano students and that type of thing going up, but there was no real public recognition of children's achievements in music until they got to be in high school.
I was embarrassed because I was in middle school, but it was interesting because I didn't think I was good at that point because, you know, you're middle school, you're just, you could be best in the orchestra, but you're not sure.
I just remember the joy and the giddiness that these students had. They loved coming to the station and having a tour of the station, and it really meant a lot to them to actually have an interview at this radio station, and they were all so excited and so passionate about music.
When I became a classical kid, I got to go to the Gil Shaham concert at the Jazz and Art Museum, and that concert completely changed my life. Being a classical kid really changed the thought of, could I do music professionally? It was really nice winning something like that. It was pretty good.
The Classical Kids idea was one that stuck because KVNO is all about classical music. It was perfect.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Samantha Netchkosh.
And I'm Robbie Pinkelman. There's been a long-established connection between the benefits of art and rehabilitation, whether it be physical, spiritual, or criminal. A recent partnership looks to extend those benefits to its young members. Lindsay Peterson is in the newsroom with more. Lindsay?
Thanks, Robbie. Kent Bellows Studios is a well-respected art community in Omaha. Ann Meisenberg is the executive director, and she wanted to take Kent Bellows art students and introduce them to juveniles in the Douglas County Youth Corrections Facility and try to tell their stories through art. Staff from the Kent Bellows Studios unravel one of two of their latest art projects for the Douglas County Youth Correctional Facility.
There are some areas of the building that are completely concrete and unpainted that have space for some kind of an art project. So Ann Meisenberg brought this idea back to me, and through some discussions we crafted a project that would incorporate both Kent Bellows Studio students and some of the youth that are in the DCYC.
Today, with space lent by the Bemis Center, Weston and colleagues weatherproof panels to be installed. All were the product of a collaboration by the Kent Bellows students and youth at the DCYC.
I do believe that art will benefit most people that it touches, but especially for young people who might be struggling with their identity, art is essential. So art will help you learn to express yourself through a language that is nonverbal. And these nonverbal languages will help you self-discover, basically things about yourself, things about other people. And for youth who might be in a detention facility, they are questioning and wondering, what their next step is, who they are, who they want to be, who other people want them to be. So art is a really profound thing to have in their lives to help them really sort all that out.
These panels are just the first of many to come from the Kent Bellows Studios.
So this was the initial project and was kind of the tester for the remaining murals that were going to be completed.
The completion date for both projects are tentative, but the Kent Bellows Studio shows no signs of slowing down between bridging the gap between student artists and students in the community. And as for the personal gains from the collaboration,
I think most of them have gained a sense of perspective about maybe the breadth of experience here in Omaha that a young person can go through. And whenever you are faced with someone else's story, it has an effect on you that you kind of question your own story and look at your own story.
So today, these 4 panels are just a small step in the healing and rehabilitation of Omaha's youth. The weather has been fairly mild so far this fall, but the staff say they don't want to push anything too fast that would damage the artwork.
Lindsay, is there an editing process when it comes to what art will be displayed?
I did talk with Executive Director Ann Meisenberg, and she said they have no intentions of censoring any of the students, but they will not allow anything that contains gang paraphernalia or any overtly offensive material. But she says they do want to give as much free rein to the students as possible.
Thanks, Lindsay.
One man is found dead after a fire broke out in an abandoned building in North Omaha early Tuesday morning. Authorities said that the fire started just before 4:30 a.m. at 922 North 16th Street. It is not known whether the man died as a result of the fire. Arson investigators are still determining the cause of the fire.
An Ohio woman has pleaded guilty to one count of attempted burglary, but it's not your average burglary. In May, 53-year-old Susan Warren walked into a home in Westlake, Ohio in the early morning hours, washed some coffee cups, took out the trash, vacuumed, and dusted, all while the homeowner's 19-year-old daughter slept upstairs. Warren then left a note on a napkin leaving her name, address, phone number, and a bill for $75. The homeowners called the phone number the next day, and Warren told them that the door had been open and that she was desperate for money. Warren owns a cleaning business and said she sometimes enters houses and cleans them, leaving a bill. She said that she believes the homeowners overreacted.
The annual Homecoming Week is currently being held at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and it's expected to be a fun-filled week. Reporter Jajin Liu gives us a look at all of the festivities.
University of Nebraska in Omaha hosted 2012 Homecoming Week from Sunday, November 4th to Saturday, November 10th. And the theme Let the Games Begin centers on games ranging from basketball and hockey to board games and bingo. All the students are welcome to come and enjoy the games. You know, Homecoming Week is sponsored by Maverick Production. Shelby Piper, the Maverick Traditions Chair, says homecoming festivities will bring a lot of fun to students.
On Sunday, we're going to have a kickoff celebration. Monday, we're going to have a real-life battleship event. We have a hypnotist coming on Wednesday, and then Saturday is kind of our grand finale. We have the hockey game, and we actually crown the king and queen during the second intermission of that game, and then directly following that in the junior ballroom of the CenturyLink Center, we're going to host an after party.
Throughout the week, students can vote for their homecoming king and queen, and the results will be announced during intermission at Saturday's hockey game. Joseph Nabrity is one of the homecoming king candidates. He says homecoming provides a great opportunity for him to get involved in campus activity.
I've had a lot of fun through the whole campaigning process. It's definitely something different than what you would normally see, and it's an interesting campaigning process. So it's a lot of fun to learn about how they're doing it and to get the students involved with it.
For more information, please check out Maverick Production Facebook page at www.facebook.com. For the Omaha News, I'm Jason Liu.
Just like Jajin said, you can check out Maverick Productions on Facebook at facebook.com/UNOMavPro to see what else they're putting on for homecoming week. Coming up on the Omaha News, with the holidays coming up and the economy affecting everyone's food supply, food banks around the area are in need of donations.
We'll show you one food bank that doesn't plan to stop anytime soon, even with the down economy. You're watching the Omaha News.
UNO TV invites you to take a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city, or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
Something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash, bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Tuesdays on NET1.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Halloween is over, yet you or your child are still picking out on all the Halloween candy from trick-or-treating. But we found an alternative that doesn't result in cavities. Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Robbie Pinkelman.
And I'm Samantha Netchkosh. Halloween usually brings two things, candy and cavities. But according to reporter Lauren Harahill, there is a way to avoid both while giving back to someone else.
For the past 3 years, Emergency Dental has had a candy buyback, where for every pound of candy someone brings in, they give them $1 back for up to 5 pounds. Teresa Cassidy, the marketing director of Emergency Dental, says there are 2 reasons Dr. Obang's office does the candy buyback.
We're doing this because Dr. Obang wanted to do it to support the troops and do something for them, to thank them for their service, and also obviously to get some candy out of kids' hands so they don't get as many cavities.
Within the first 20 minutes, over 24 pounds of candy was collected. And all that candy will be sent in care packages to soldiers overseas. Not only are the children happy to do something to support the soldiers, but they are also happy to use their money for one thing.
Buy a toy with that.
For the Omaha News, I'm Lauren Harahill.
Emergency Dental ended up breaking their own personal record, collecting 168 pounds of candy in the 2012 edition of their candy buyback.
As we turn from Halloween into other holidays such as Thanksgiving and Christmas, we need to be reminded of what some people really need, and they need our help. Katie Wagner reports that the Food Bank for the Heartland is an organization that only cares about giving to the needy.
The Food Bank of the Heartland has been serving western Iowa and most of Nebraska for almost 40 years. Food Bank of the Heartland Director of Development and PR, Brian Barks, says that their mission is to distribute supplemental emergency food to people in need.
Statistics indicate that in our service area, there's approximately 208,000 people who are considered food insecure. That's just a fancy way of saying 208,000 people may not know where they're getting their next meal.
The food bank works to collect their donations from generous people that want to donate product, money, or to simply volunteer. Retired volunteer Fred Barger wants to spend his time giving back to the community and helping to feed America's next generation.
You know, a lot of kids are hungry these days, and we need all the help we can get.
It's clear to see that the Food Bank of the Heartland needs donations. These empty shelves behind me show it all.
Right now as we sit, our warehouse is, may look like there's some food in here, but essentially that food has already been ordered. And right now this holiday season, we are facing probably the biggest shortage of food that we have in the 3 to 4 years that I've been here.
The food bank is always in need of volunteers and food. For the Omaha News, I'm Katie Wagner.
For more information on Food Bank for the Heartland, or if you want to volunteer or give a donation, visit their website at omahafoodbank.org.
According to a new study by the Medical Journal Archives of Pediatrics and Adolescent Medicine, children who eat at restaurants consume more calories and fat regardless of whether those restaurants are fast food or full service. The study says that going to a fast food restaurant increased calorie intake by about 126 calories among 2 to 11-year-olds and by 309 calories among 12 to 19-year-olds. And eating at a full-service restaurant isn't much better, resulting in 160 extra calories for younger kids and 267 extra calories for older kids. Coming up after the break, Friday is one of the biggest sports days in the history of the city of Omaha, with 6 Omaha area football teams playing in the state semifinals and the 2 City Division I basketball teams tipping off their season at home, with all of them playing at the same time.
We'll tell you about the matchups and tell you when and where these in-city teams are playing. You're watching the Omaha News.
Something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
Will it seem almost impossible? Or push the limit?
Large tornado! It's humongous! You need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there. We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Robbie Pinkelman.
And I'm Samantha Netchkosh. Winter weather and harsh temperatures can have an effect on many things. One of these things is your vehicle, which is essential for many of us to get from point A to point B. We learn what it is that we can do to give us some peace of mind while driving this winter. There are some chilly temperatures heading Omaha's way. With snow in this weekend's forecast, now is the right time to get your car ready for winter.
It's a good idea to at least bring it in so we can always look at it.
Manager of Midas, Joe Fayen, says winterizing should be part of the regular maintenance to your vehicle.
To ensure that it's always going to start for them and not break down going down the road.
Winterizing a vehicle involves checking all belts and hoses for cracks and leaks, checking that the battery has life, tires are properly inflated and not leaking, and doing a standard tune-up, which includes a coolant flush. Places like Midas recommend that you get your car winterized every year to avoid any severe problems in the near future. Technician Shannon Brown says in extreme cases, not doing proper maintenance before the different seasons can wreak havoc on a vehicle.
Coolant can end up freezing, causing a water pump to go out, and a lot of, in the summertime, you can actually end up with overheating problems.
Water pumps, timing belts, and head gaskets failing are just a few of the things that can happen by not winterizing your car. And these repairs alone can cost you hundreds of dollars. If you haven't been thinking about winterizing your vehicle, you may want to start. Even though it's supposed to go up to 72 degrees on Saturday, Sunday is forecasted to have a high of 39 with 30% chance of snow showers. Both Division I basketball teams in the city of Omaha tip off at home on Friday. The UNO Mavericks play their first game ever at Ralston Arena at 7 o'clock against the Huskies of Northern Illinois, the only Division I team that UNO beat last season. And the 15th ranked Creighton Blue Jays also play at 7:05 against the North Texas Mean Green, which has 3 players named All-Conference in the Sun Belt, including preseason Player of the Year Tony Mitchell. North Texas is also picked to win the West Division of the Sun Belt Conference.
UNO and Creighton aren't the only teams in the city to be playing on Friday in what is turning out to be a huge sports day in Omaha. With 6 Omaha area teams battling in 3 games to advance to the state football finals at Memorial Stadium, and all the semifinals are at the same time, 7 p.m. In Class A, Millard South will try to knock off their second rival in as many weeks. Coming off a huge win over Millard West, they host the Millard North Mustangs at Buell Stadium. And at Burke Stadium, where Omaha Creighton Prep plays their home games, the Junior Jays take on the 10 seed Omaha North, ensuring of a Millard-Omaha battle in the finals on Monday. In Class B, also at 7 o'clock, Elkhorn plays at Omaha Gross's home field. Bryan High School take on the Cougars. The winner plays the winner of Aurora and Norris on Tuesday. Stay tuned next week when we are going to preview the Nebraska State Finals, which is going to have 3 Omaha area teams battling for the championships in Classes A and B. That's it for this week's edition of the Omaha News. Thanks again for watching. If you're looking for more, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/theomaha News.
While you're there, you can check out the news stories our reporters covered, submit story ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and UNO Television, good night.
KVNO was in a really interesting place. This Victorian mansion near UNO.
3 floors. The studios were on the 3rd floor.
Bedrooms and bathrooms. So we had a challenge, but we ultimately ended up with an on-air studio.
We soundproofed it with carpet, and actually I think it sounded really warm, very radio friendly.
There were also rumors that the 3rd floor was haunted. Those were the maid's chambers, as we were told.
I had a sink in the office and leaded glass windows which looked out on the stable house in the back.
One colleague talking about having the window open one day, a a warm spring or fall day, and a squirrel jumping through the window onto a turntable.
It was a great place, a great ambiance for a fine arts station.
It definitely had a charm to it.